What is up, everybody? So over the last little bit, The Rock has been making headlines all across the world for allegedly being transphobic. And a certain side of the fence has been trying to cancel The Rock ever since. It all started when he came out in support of Joe Rogan, and then a couple of days later sort of walked back that support. So of course he then became a target as well. If people go back and start to look at The Rock's legendary promos he cut when he was a full-time professional wrestler in the late 90s and early 2000s, and even when he came back all those years later, you will not find a politically correct promo in the bunch. His whole character was inappropriate. But can you hold him accountable? This is the big question. Can you hold him accountable for the things he said while he was playing a character? All kinds of different people in Hollywood. One of the more popular ones that people are talking about recently is Leonardo DiCaprio in Django, where he says the N-word. Now, is Leonardo DiCaprio racist? No. He's playing a character in a movie. Everybody on the planet knows that pro wrestling is fake, and this is coming from a pro wrestling guy. I've been a fan of pro wrestling ever since I can remember. I've been involved in the pro wrestling business in my area for 21 years. Every time someone tries to come at pro wrestling, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. No kidding. No one tries to pretend it's real. To me, it is no different than a Hollywood movie. The only difference is that pro wrestlers have one take and do it in front of a live audience. But they are all playing a character. They are all playing a character that has a script written for them. It's no different than Leonardo DiCaprio or any other actor in Hollywood playing a part. The Rock is playing a part in a television show. Everybody wants to come at pro wrestling for being fake until it suits them to find certain aspects of it that could be real. The only thing real about pro wrestling is the physicality, the money, and the miles. Do I think The Rock is transphobic? Absolutely not. Do I think he said some things on television that's going to make him look not so good in the media over the next little while? Absolutely. But it was him doing that, playing that character, saying those things, that has made him the biggest actor in Hollywood, that has made him, he's something like the most followed North American male on Instagram, something like that. He's got 300 million followers or something close to 300 million followers on Instagram. He's got almost 16 million on Twitter. And it was because he did all of those things that has made him as popular as he is today. So who's to blame? The Rock for saying those things, or for the fans all across the world that absolutely loved everything The Rock did when he was involved in pro wrestling that made him the mega crossover star that he is? When The Rock was involved in pro wrestling alongside Stone Cold Steve Austin, wrestling was hotter than it has ever been. Attitude Era in pro wrestling had ratings higher than it's ever been, had merchandise sales higher than it's ever been, sold out more arenas than it ever has. And it was because The Rock was one of the two people that was on top saying what people say now was inappropriate and inexcusable. But at the time, the entire live audience was chanting it along with him. Is it just that the times have changed? Have people just changed? Are people just looking to go back and attack people for things they said 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it is? Or do they actually care what somebody said on television as a television character? Even when he wasn't on television, even when he was doing live events, when there was no television cameras, as The Rock, he was playing a character. You can go back and look at, like I said, any promo The Rock's done. You can go back and look at 95% of the promos John Cena has done over the years. He has done more Make-A-Wish greetings and met more Make-A-Wish kids than anybody else on the planet, and that's a fact. Are you going to cancel John Cena too? Are you going to take him away from all of the kids that absolutely love John Cena for the things he said as a character he was playing on TV? Yeah, it might be a little bit more confusing because John Cena used his real name as his television character, but he was still playing a television character. You could probably go back and cancel most of everybody in Hollywood if you wanted to. If you wanted to do a deep dive into everybody's life, you could probably find something to cancel them for. How about people make mistakes, people learn, and people grow? Everybody makes mistakes. We need to learn to grow as a society and come back from those mistakes. Everybody's so mad at Joe Rogan and Spotify these days. But Spotify still has Bill Cosby and 6ix9ine and Chris Brown. Sirius has Howard Stern. Spotify still has R. Kelly. But I don't see anybody talking about those people in headlines. So if you are upset over everything, you can't just pick and choose the people you want to come after. But you can't just be mad at Joe Rogan today and forget that R. Kelly is still on Spotify. Again, it's just my opinion. Well, I hope you're all having a great day, and I'll see you again soon.